welcome to today's video. So, as many of you know, I have recently bought a house, which is honestly super exciting, but also since I've uploaded my videos, my moving vlog and everything like that, a lot of people have been asking me questions. Now, a lot of people have been asking me questions like, you're so young, you're like 21, and how have you bought a house that young? What do you do first? Do you go look at houses? How do you know how much you can borrow from the bank? Like, there's so many different questions, and these are all the questions that I had when I first started looking at buying a house. So I thought, why not do a video where I talk about literally everything like that? And I've got my pen, I've got my notepad, like look how cute this notepad is. So I've made some notes on basically the whole process that I went through and kind of how much things cost, how much you should be saving, sort of thing. So there is so much to buying a house, and honestly I feel like this is something they should teach you at school because there is so much to it. So I'm basically gonna break down how I managed to buy a house at the age of 21, and I mean, as you guys know, like, I'm unbelievably so grateful for being able to buy a house, and it is the most beautiful house ever, and I'm just so lucky. So I want to give you guys a chance to kind of like understand exactly what you need to do and what actually the whole sort of buying process entails. So first things first is that buying a house at 21 isn't the normal. Like, do not feel like if you don't buy a house at 21, you're literally failed at life, because no, like, I'm in a super privileged position, and I didn't actually realise the average age for buying a house is actually 33. So you've got years. And to be fair, buying a house is a lot to consider. There is so much that goes into it, and generally when you buy a house, you're committing yourself to 25 years of paying a debt, which is definitely something you don't want to be taking lightly. So let me find my notes and let's get into it. So the first thing I wrote on my list is that I had literally no idea what happens when you buy a house. Like, I honestly went into this process and I was like, what do you even do? So prior to buying this house, we were actually renting a house. We were actually renting a flat. And when you rent somewhere, you literally just think, how much can I afford each month? You go have a look around flats, and then you put a deposit down and you basically say you want it. And that's literally the process of renting a flat, which is super straightforward and simple. Whereas buying a house is a little bit different. So the first thing that we actually did is that we did a mortgage calculator online. So we went on to like Barclays or Halifax, or I can't remember exactly which one we went on to, but we went on there, we plugged in like how much our annual salaries are, and me and Jasper did it combined. So we put in my salary and his salary and any kind of like bonuses or any extra money that you do get, and it kind of just gives you this sort of average figure of something that you could get. So with your savings and with this sort of general figure that this calculator gave us, we decided that we actually wanted to sort of view properties within that range. So we decided that we wanted to go have a look at a few properties to see kind of the thing that we could get for the price range that we had. So because the thing is, we didn't actually have a clue like what sort of houses you can get for the price that we were going to pay. So we decided we might as well just go have a look. So we basically, all we did was we looked on Rightmove, looked at different houses, and we were like, oh, that one looks nice, that one looks nice. And we always knew that we wanted a new build. Well, we didn't always knew, but we kind of sort of figured that we did want a new build. So one Saturday, I rang up the estate agent for one of the houses that looked really nice and just basically said, is it all right to have a look around? And he just asked us what our sort of like price range was, how many bedrooms we're looking for, sort of just general information. And then he booked in us an appointment. He didn't ask for anything. It was literally just a case of being like, yeah, you're booked in, have a look around. So that was really good because we didn't need to prove that we can afford anything at that point. It was literally a case of just having a look to see whether the house was something that was suitable for us. So that weekend, I went with my mum and dad and had a look around this house. Now, how insane is that? Like, the first weekend we looked around somewhere, it was this exact house. It was a couple more houses on this estate, but we looked at this exact house, and I think I have a few clips of when I first looked around it because Jasper didn't come with us, so I filmed a few little bits to show him.
It's perfect, isn't it?
Yeah, I really like it.
Yeah, this house was one of the houses which is insane. From the first viewing, it was like, I kind of like knew it was insane. So that was what we did. Sorry, my battery literally just died. Anyway, so yeah, what I was saying is that it was weird that we looked around this house for the first time and it was basically exactly what we wanted. So I looked around it, and then the next day the estate agent gave me a text because I said, like, obviously I can't put an offer in until Jasper has seen it, or like he actually liked it. I had no idea whether he actually liked it or not. He liked it from the look of the pictures, but it was a little bit more expensive than what we had anticipated because it was a new build. You kind of pay a premium for new builds, so that was sort of what was kind of like putting us off a little bit. And you don't realise how nice something is until you see it in person. So that is what we did. So yeah, the estate agent texted us the next day and basically said, like, I'm available at 11 o'clock if you want to come and have another look. So then we did. On the Sunday we went and had another look, and Jasper absolutely loved it. He thought it was amazing, and yeah, it went from there. So then that night we put in an offer, which was crazy. So that's what we did. So started off by doing a mortgage calculator, then viewing properties, and then putting in an offer. So that is what we did, and then thereon it's honestly paperwork, 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 and more paperwork. Now personally, what I think should have been the correct process is, firstly, when you think you want to buy a house, go to an advisor, a financial advisor, a mortgage advisor, even just someone at a bank to kind of get a proper idea of how much you can borrow. Now, luckily we were fine. The mortgage calculator for us was super like similar to what we could actually get, so that worked out fine. But I think to be sensible and to not get your hopes up about a house that you might not be able to afford, definitely recommend going to a mortgage advisor or just going to the bank and just chatting to them and seeing what they say you can borrow, sort of thing, because there are so many things that can influence how much a bank can lend you, and there are so many different aspects to it. I think that's the most sensible thing to do. I'm just going to move my tripod a little bit. And also, when you go speak to a mortgage advisor or a financial advisor or just anyone along that sort, usually their advice is free when you first begin with them. So that kind of leads on to my next point. So what we did after we put in the offer, the agent asked for a agreement in principle, our solicitor's details. What else did he ask for? He asked for a correspondence address where he could send documents and information. I think that was all he asked for, actually. So that is what he asked for next. So this was where I had to literally go full force and try and get an agreement in principle. Now, agreement in principle is basically a one-page letter that says this is how much a bank will lend you. So this is the top amount that a bank will lend you. So what I had to do is I thought, because me and Jasper both work full time, this was literally such a big job and we had to move quickly because there were also 2 other people interested in this house. And I didn't want to lose it. So I then rang up a financial advisor, mortgage advisor, and so some mortgage advisors are free, but they do get commission off the bank for bringing in business to the bank. But other mortgage advisors do charge you, and generally, sort of rule of thumb, if you pay for a mortgage advisor, it is generally a better, quicker service. So our mortgage advisor was unbelievable. So I literally just rang them up. I had never heard of them before. I literally was from a Google search my dad gave me, and he had a look at reviews and it said they were really good. So I rang them up and spoke to a guy, and he basically, I spent 2 hours on the phone to him talking through our jobs, our salaries, how long we worked at different places, what we spend monthly. There's so many different questions, because the thing is, the main thing that they do on you when you apply for a mortgage is they do a credit check, and basically they just want to know that you're going to be able to upkeep these payments for 25 years minimum. So that is basically what a mortgage advisor is trying to figure out. He says, at the end of the day, you want to have enough money to be able to live your best life and also pay a mortgage for 25 years. So that is what we did. So we went to a mortgage advisor, and I've got to be completely honest, our mortgage advisor cost £595. So that was a full service, and what he did for us is he got our mortgage offer, he got us an agreement in principle, he then helped us with the whole mortgage application, and then he also helped us with something else which I'm going to come on to in a second. So we ended up getting the agreement in principle for the amount we could borrow on a mortgage, which was absolutely fine. That's exactly what we needed. And also during that time, we got a few quotes for some solicitors to see how much the solicitors cost. Now, the solicitors for a first-time buyer where there's kind of not really any chain because we're sort of purchasing a brand new house, we're literally not even a chain because we're literally first-time buyer buying a brand new house with no one in it. So, sorry, I just moved you around again because literally the sun is getting in my eyes. So we also got some quotes for solicitors. Now, generally the price we were getting back because we're first-time buyers was around sort of £1,500 to £2,000 for the solicitor's fees. So that is generally what you can expect to pay for a solicitor when you're a first-time buyer. So we found our solicitor, gave that to the agent, and also we had our agreement in principle, which we then gave to the agent. Then after that, it was a case of actually applying for a mortgage and getting a mortgage offer. Now, one of the big things to consider when you're applying for a mortgage is the interest rates. Now, I never understood that. I thought 1.1% interest or 2% interest wasn't that much, but honestly, interest is an insane amount. You really want to focus on getting a really good interest rate for your first buy because generally you kind of get a little bit more like leniency and you kind of get a better deal when you're a first time buyer and you've never had a mortgage before because the banks kind of want to entice you in. So that is definitely something to look out for. Make sure you are getting the best interest rate when you are getting your mortgage because they just want to steal your money. So once we had our agreement in principle, our mortgage advisor actually then applied for our mortgage for us. We signed all the forms, basically signed our lives away for 25 years. So just out of interest, we had a 25-year mortgage and the minimum our monthly payments could be was around sort of £500 a month. So just to kind of put that in perspective, when you're sort of renting, generally rent tends to be a lot more than that. So that was kind of like the minimum it could be. Obviously it could be a lot higher than that, but that was sort of the minimum lowest end of it to pay money off your interest and your mortgage. So that is just kind of something to keep in mind for a 2-bedroom detached house sort of thing. So when you look to buy a house, we decided we wanted to go for a new build, generally because it was a lot nicer than some of the houses you can get for the same sort of price, and also you can do Help to Buy. Now, Help to Buy is this huge government scheme which you've probably all heard about before, but you can generally only do it on new build houses and generally only if you're a first time buyer. So it's definitely something to take advantage of if you are a first time buyer. And we decided to do the Help to Buy scheme. Now there are multiple different schemes, but the one that we actually chose to do was the equity loan scheme, which means you can put a deposit down of a minimum of 5% of the total house price. And then the government will lend you up to 20% of your house price, and then you need a 75% mortgage to make up the rest. Now, trying to get your head around that can be quite confusing, but actually it makes a lot of sense. So what we actually decided to do is we decided to put a 5% deposit down, and then we took a 20% government loan for Help to Buy. So they basically gave us 20% of the price of our house. Then we got a 72% mortgage. Then we actually paid 3% off the price of the house. So I'll kind of like try and map that out for you so you can see it a little bit more visually. But basically the Help to Buy equity loan, you don't pay any money off it for 5 years, and it's interest free for 5 years. So you have this interest free loan of 20% of your property price for 5 years, which is absolutely insane. So the amount of interest you would have paid if you took 20% on a mortgage would have been absolutely insane. So if you can use that loan and use it to your advantage and know that you can save enough to pay it off within 5 years, then you've got interest-free loan for 5 years. Like, it's insane. But the thing to remember with the equity loan is it's 20% of your property. So if your property price goes up and you want to pay off your equity loan, then you pay off 20% of your new higher price. So say you borrowed £60,000 and your property price went up to £70,000, you then do pay £70,000. But it works both ways. So if the property prices drop and your equity loan 20% is now only worth £50,000, then you only paid £50,000 off. So Let's kind of put it in perspective that you might actually end up paying more off because the government actually own 20% of your property. So we basically put down 8% of the property price. Now, 8% doesn't sound a lot. Now, when you put things in percentage, it just does not sound a lot, but honestly, it is a lot of money. So, and also when you're paying solicitors fees on top, so you're paying for mortgage advisor, then when you move in, you have to pay for carpet. Now, honestly, I can't believe how much carpet it costs. Like, our carpet, I'm going to be completely honest, I need to check with Jasper if I can leave all these sort of figures in. But carpet costs like £2,000. Carpet upstairs, it costs £2,000. And I was just like, and we got a discount on that. Like, how insane is that? So, yeah, there's a lot of expenses when you move in, so you kind of need to take that into consideration as well. So, just to put this in perspective, I'm going to take the average price for a detached house in the United Kingdom as of March 2019. So the average price for a detached house is £371,759. So 8% of that is £29,740. So yeah, I'm not gonna lie to you when I say it is a lot of money, and to be honest, like, I've saved money a little bit here and there all my life, so it wasn't such a shock. And doing it with another person, you only need to pay half of that. So say your 8% deposit or whatever you wanted to do was 30,000, you're only putting 15 down if you do it with someone else, which is a lot better. But then you also do have the risk that you are committing to 25 years with someone, and well, you're not committing to 25 years, it's kind of scary, but that is what you're signing up for, and it is a big decision. So yeah, there is a lot to think about, and it is a huge decision, and it is a lot of money. Like, there's so much money you invest into it, not only just the house itself, but also like solicitors fees, stuff like that. Also, one thing you don't pay when you're a first time buyer, which is really good, is stamp duty. Now, stamp duty can be a lot, I'm pretty sure, so that was good that you don't pay that. Also, one other thing that a lot of people talk about is the Help to Buy ISAs. Now, I didn't actually realise this, and stupidly, I just didn't even think about it, to be honest, is the Help to Buy ISAs, you can only buy properties up to 250,000. And I've had Help to Buy ISA for ages, so I saved up so much money. I was like, this is amazing, this will at least pay off the solicitor's fees, or I can put it towards a deposit. And yeah, we didn't even think about that, so we couldn't actually use our Help to Buy ISAs, which was annoying. So that's definitely something to consider if you are wanting to use the Help to Buy schemes. Yeah, and just make sure that you are kind of like sticking to the rules of that. Also, other Help to Buy things that you can do is the shared ownership. So basically, you buy half the property, and then I'm pretty sure either the government or someone else owns the other half, and then you pay rent on that. So if you can't get a mortgage big enough, that is definitely one to consider. So yeah, that's kind of the only ones that I'd ever been told about, but I don't know if there's other ones out there that you can use. I don't really know, but that's kind of the one that we used, was the equity loan. And the weirdest thing about it is that we have to pay £1 a month for the equity loan. Like, I don't know, so for 5 years we have to pay £1 a month for like admin charges. Super random, I have no idea, but yeah. So that is how we basically bought a house. So I feel like I've gone off on a bit of a tangent, but I'm basically going to summarize quickly the exact process we did. So we did a mortgage calculator, we went and viewed the houses, we put in an offer on the house. Now, an offer on the house can be the actual house price, it can be lower, it can be higher if you think there's a lot of competition, sort of thing. So yeah, you can kind of offer really what you want within reason, just be aware, and you can kind of get a gauge from the agent that's showing you around the house of like what he would accept and stuff like that, and what he thinks that the seller would accept. So that's definitely something to kind of like get a gauge of from your agent when you're actually looking around the house. So then we put in an offer, then we got an agreement in principle, appointed a solicitor, we then got a mortgage offer and applied for our Help to Buy. And then kind of once we got the mortgage offer and we applied for Help to Buy, the solicitor basically takes over and sort of deals with all the paperwork. You just have to do a lot of things like sign in with a witness, so get someone to witness you signing your mortgage contract and things like that. So yeah, it's a big old process, but to be fair, like if you have a mortgage advisor, you have parents or friends or people like that that have bought a house before that you can ask, and you can just literally ask your solicitor any questions, because they literally do this day in, day out. you should be fine. And the thing to remember is that it is a huge decision, so if something takes you a little bit longer than you think it should, or you're uncertain, or you feel like you should know something, literally just ask. Like, the amount of questions that me and Jasper asked our mortgage advisor was crazy. So yeah, so if you guys have any more questions for me, let me know. So hopefully that helped, and I shall let you know what we're doing to the house. There will be another video soon where I kind of give you like a little updated tour of everything that we're doing in the house. So yeah, thank you so much for watching, and I shall see you all again very, very soon. Bye.